Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the film. Hard sports all plays.
Happened.
It is what it is.
Welcome to Unscripted.
Welcome to
folks.
Unscripted.
Hard sports all plays.
Janky ass computer.
Hard sports all plays.
To get a new computer, man.
Hard sports all plays.
Let me try this again. And see if it works.
Hey,
Pray.
you're letting it run for 10 seconds, man.
Oh, well, see, my computer doesn't show that. Is it running now?
Oh yeah, we're
No.
live, brother.
Yeah, we are live. We are
For
in prime
55
time.
Man,
seconds.
listen.
Just hit.
Hey,
Hey,
he said at this point, we're just going to go to the unscripted because everything
I
else
don't-
is just jacked up.
I'm about to say at this point, let's just hit our other intro. How about that? I got faith in you, brother.
It wouldn't be unscripted if we didn't have
You
technical
are right about.
difficulties.
There we go. You ain't kidding, Chris.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Unscripted. As you guys saw the preliminaries, you can tell that I'm thinking about changing this show to half-baked because my computer is half-baked. So, I don't know at this point, man. I might have to get a new computer or something. But, hey, what a time to be alive, man. Crazy things just going on and on and on in sports. As you know, the most craziest thing is this whole DeAndre Ayton thing. With the Pacers giving him $133 million, 4 years, he signs it, and now they're waiting to see if the Suns are going to match it, not match it. I think we kind of all agree that we kind of hope that they don't match it, and the Pacers will just be able to acquire DeAndre Ayton and then move about their business. Gondo, this is your team. This is what we're talking about. How do you feel about this whole DeAndre Ayton situation? I know you must like part of it, but now you're antsy to see what the Suns do, correct?
I need somebody to go to the Phoenix Suns GM or whoever's in charge of deciding they're going to match it or not, and hit him in the knee with a crowbar or something. Keep him from getting to a pin to sign and match that offer.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no doubt.
Hey, Pacers getting Ayton. If they get Ayton and you add him with Halliburton and then the young rookie Maturin they just drafted, and you have Duarte, you still have Buddy Hield on that team. That's not a bad team. The Pacers will be moving in the right direction and possibly could even make the playoffs this year. I'm not saying they make a deep run, but they might be able to at least make the play-in or make it in the first round.
Right.
So I think Halliburton and Ayton, man, that pick and roll with Halliburton and Ayton could be sick.
No,
I've heard rumors. I'm hearing rumors the Suns are going to match it. I hope not. I can't wait till I think it's Saturday night at midnight or something like that. Hopefully it makes it that
far.
far.
The only reason I guess we could say that they would match, like we were talking about earlier, is that way they had to trade him and get draft picks rather than just watching him walk out the door for nothing. The problem I think with that, and Logan,
can't trade him until January.
Is that $133 million 4 years? Is that going to make it a little harder for them to be able to trade him and get those picks?
Well, plus they can't trade him till January.
So
exactly.
he'll be sick.
That's even another issue, right?
And here's my thing: if you're the Suns, are you going to match the offer and plan on keeping him? Because now
He's happy.
Yeah, he's going to be unhappy because you already proved to him that he isn't worth what you don't think he's worth what he does.
Right.
So if you match this offer, is he going to come back disgruntled? You know what I mean? I think that relationship is probably fractured. So I'm hoping that the Suns don't match it because I think it's a good move for the Pacers. I really do.
I feel like the Suns are kind of shooting themselves in the foot because if you knew you didn't want to re-sign him,
you should have traded him.
You should have traded him before the season, or you should have traded him during the middle of the year or something. Because now he has the chance to leave, and then you won't even get anything from him. And like you said, if you do end up re-signing him, if you do end up matching the offer, I wouldn't want to play for until January if I'm Ayton, because you're expiring goods. You know that you're going to get traded once your value once January hits. So I don't understand it, and I've had the Suns have really messed us up because they could have gotten a good bit for him. I'm not saying a whole lot, but they could have gotten a decent amount for this guy, because don't forget, he's not like he's old. He's still super young. He's talented. And I mean, he's in the finals. He's got finals experience. So I think that if I was the Phoenix Suns, I'd let him walk. I just, bite the bullet and just say, hey, enjoy your new life with the Pacers. And they'll have to figure out something for their big man at the 5. So I feel like Phoenix really screwed this one up.
I do too. Hell yeah, Frankie. Look, I'm representing the Reds tonight. Well, you can't see me because there you go.
There we go.
I'm representing my Reds. We're gonna win tonight.
No, absolutely. And it is game time. They're actually in the first inning right now. I'm not saying anything because I do not want to jinx the Reds
Jonathan,
in any way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna be
Jonathan India starts the game off with a single.
Hot start.
There we go.
Hey, here's a question though, guys.
Hey, we got up 4-0 yesterday and ended up losing, so it don't matter.
Hey, did DeAndre Ayton do himself a favor to get that $133 million contract by going to Indiana? Now he's got the contract. Now he's almost like forcing the Suns' hand to match that contract. And even if he has to wait a year and play with the Suns for a year, maybe he gets maybe a championship out of it, or maybe he does it and then he still goes to the Pacers, and still has his $133 million. I don't know where the downside would be for Ayton, honestly, in this.
I think I agree with Logan. I think the Suns are going to just have to count their losses and start over.
And just let Ayton walk away and go join the Pacers.
I mean,
I think you've messed it up. I don't think you have much of an option now.
He's not going to be motivated.
Yeah, I agree with Logan. If I'm Ayton, I would just sit out until you trade me, and you can't trade me to January.
I get that too. Yeah, I get that.
Kind of do like a Kawhi Leonard, what he did a few years ago, So I mean, he knew he was going to be gone.
Trying to be alive. It's just that whole situation just again. It seems like you get resolution because you see a contract offered to Ayton, but really still no resolution. Really, we're still at, status quo, where we don't know what's going to happen with him one way or the other. So
yeah, this have to wait 48 hours shit sucks.
Yeah.
Gotta wait 2 days. Wait till Saturday.
We're still waiting on something we thought might get a little bit of clarity when they first broke the news on on Facebook through ESPN and, whatever else. And now we're still kind of waiting to really see what truly unfolds. Speaking of waiting, Donovan Mitchell, 25 years old, right? 23 points, 4 assists in the 4 years or 5 years that he's been with them. He's on that $134 million 4-year contract. Looks like, now that they've gotten rid of Gobert, now that first they weren't willing, now they're willing to talk trade when it comes to Donovan Mitchell. And there's a couple of teams out there. I mean, obviously New York is probably, the best for him because that's, kind of where his heart is, since I believe he's from New Jersey. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he's from New Jersey. Am I correct on that?
Let me check.
I'm almost positive he's from New Jersey. But he has but Donovan has close ties to, that Knicks organization because of that.
He's from New York.
I wasn't sure if it was New Jersey or New York, but I knew he was somewhere in that general area. So obviously the Knicks would be, really good for him. But, again, they got Quickly, Toppin, and Grimes, 4 to 5 picks. They got stuff that they can deal with. And which could be, I think the number of picks that they have could be too much for the Jazz to pass up. I think if you look at Miami, you got Heat, Butler, Mitchell. If you can get that combination, that would be a pretty good, solid deal. And they do have some picks. They have Hero and Robinson they can throw in with the picks. I don't know if Miami really has enough really to be that attractive for them, as much as, let's say, the Knicks would be, or even the Sixers that could give them Maxey and Thibault for Mitchell. And then you got Hart on the point. You got Mitchell at the 2. And, I'm sure the Sixers, I don't know if they still have any picks left to offer with Maxey and Thibault. But what are your guys' thought process on Donovan Mitchell and where you think he would get traded, Logan?
I think he'll be gone. I think they're, like you said, they got rid of Gobert. They got a new head coach. Why not just blow up the whole team?
Right.
I mean, cause they have a good bench too, so I could see some of their bench pieces getting traded, like Clarkson, just to get even more value and just kind of rebuild. Some teams I've seen throughout there, obviously the Heat are one of the favorites, right, that always gets talked about. They've got a good bit of young players they could trade over, like Tyler Hero, Robinson, a few others. And then I've also seen a few other teams thrown out there. I've seen the Nets. They give a big Ben Simmons and some picks so he can just go to another new team. We've got the Hornets as well in Charlotte. They've got some rough contracts they can just get rid of, and some most likely, like I said, draft picks is what they're looking for. And then also another one, like you said, maybe the Pelicans. Trade him over there. Get rid of, maybe trade off CJ McCollum and whoever else, put him over there with a younger Zion. That could work there too. But I definitely don't think he is going to stay in Utah, though. I just don't see it.
Gonzo. Where Donovan go? What do you think he goes?
I think he's going to end up with the Knicks. It seems the Knicks are really going all in for him. Sounds like the Jazz are going to get a haul of draft picks for him. But yeah, right. I think he's going to end up with the Knicks. I think that's where he wants to be is that area. And it looks like that's what the Knicks are all in on him. So I think the Knicks are going to get him and have him and Brunson together and see what they can do.
Then we got half of the tag team duo, Pride for Prideful Takes. Always a pleasure to have him on this show. Lots of experience. Pride, what is up, my brother?
Well, shit, I didn't even see Pride join. What's up?
Oh, so I'm worthless to you people. This is absurd. I demand to speak to a manager. I demand to speak to one now.
How are you guys doing? I'm the manager. I'm the general manager. And for those comments, Pride, you're going in a one-on-one match with The Undertaker.
Oh, dear God.
Hell in a Cell.
How about that?
Oh, man. That brings me back to the Teddy Long SmackDown days, brother.
Holla, holla, holla.
Oh, man. Oh, holler, holler. But to answer the question, I think he does get traded. I don't think he's going to Miami. I don't think he's going to Philly. Honestly, I think and I've said this before, I never thought that Donovan Mitchell would end up on the Knicks. I always thought that it would be a situation where the Knicks would want him, Donovan Mitchell would want him, but the stars wouldn't align. This is really the best part. Like, this is the best the stars are going to align for Donovan Mitchell to go to the Knicks because the Jazz want draft picks. And what does the New York Knicks have an abundance of? First-round draft picks. They own all their first draft picks for at least the next 6 years. Plus, they own some from Portland, from the Detroit Pistons, who are going to be bad, and the Mavs. So they own their own plus 3 other teams' first-round picks. At this point, they can just do, hey, look, we'll give you Julius Randle and like 5 first-round picks. How does that sound? And that would be honestly that would be the best. Because the thing is like for Miami, sure they could give you Tyler Hero and maybe Duncan Robinson, but the way the Jazz are thinking, they're like, why would we do that when we just kind of want to develop our own youngsters? You know what I mean? Like they're basically on the verge of rebuilding. So they were like, why would we do that if we can get more picks from the Knicks, right? And it's kind of the same thing with Philly. Like Philly doesn't really have like enticing draft picks like the Knicks would have. And again, this is coming from a guy. I didn't think it would ever happen. I didn't think Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks would happen. I just thought it would be a situation where, unfortunately, it was the wrong place, wrong time type of situation, and they would never be able to go through with it. But now it seems like the Knicks are number one because, again, if they have to throw a player in there, they can throw in Julius Randle. The Knicks, the Jazz, would they take Julius Randle? I don't know. They would have to take somebody. And the Knicks want to get rid of Julius Randle. I mean, who else are you going to take? They're not giving up R.J. Barrett, right?
Hey, question.
Go ahead.
Question, do you think if the Knicks add Donovan Mitchell with R.J. Barrett and Jalen Brunson, does that make them a contender in the East?
No, not even close.
I don't either.
If
it makes them better. It makes them a better team, yes, but I still don't think they have enough.
It makes them better by like a game or two, in my opinion, because the Knicks still don't have a good roster.
No.
And even the few guys that they have. You said what now, Jay?
No, I was saying I think if they did that, you'd have Barrett, of course you would have Donovan and so forth. But where would this size come from? Down in the paint,
Exactly. You would have nothing, and that's the thing. Like they've been trying to trade Julius Randle for the longest. The reason why Julius Randle hasn't been traded is not because no team wants it. It's because the Knicks are making the same mistake that the Phoenix Suns made. You're telling everyone that your guy sucks. You're telling everyone that your guy is bad and he's a horrible player. Yet when you go to the trading market, you want top tier players for him.
Yeah.
Which is it's mind boggling. How are you gonna sit there and say, "Yep, Julius Randle is bum," but we want an all-star in exchange for him, bare minimum? It's like, wait a minute, what are you trying to do here? That doesn't make any sense. So that's the situation that the Knicks are in. Like the Knicks are trying to portray that Julius Randle is a bum, but then when it comes to the trade market, they want too much for him, which is why teams won't go. If you go to a situation where you go over to the Utah Jazz and it's like, look, we'll give you a whole bunch of picks and we'll throw Julius Randle in there. Again, it's a situation where they want to part ways with Julius Randle. You're still getting Donovan Mitchell. You're giving up the draft picks, which again, you have 1 billion of them, so it literally doesn't matter. So I just think with all that, I think it's going to end up being the Knicks. I mean, maybe Miami has somewhat of a chance. Maybe perhaps like if Pat Riley's slick now, so if he can kind of silver tongue his way and be like, "Hey, yo, Utah, Tyler Hero though, this kid's a dog," and they can try to do a trade package around him, that there is some potential for Miami to kind of be in there. But based on what the Utah Jazz, like their expectations, like when they got Rudy Gobert, they wanted the draft picks. They were like, "Sure, we'll take the players, but who cares?
With Miami, you think they'll throw in like Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, and draft picks?
They'd have to. They'd have to.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even do Oladipo though. I wouldn't even do Oladipo. I would do Duncan Robinson.
I don't think Oladipo makes a difference to that organization as much as 4 first-round picks, let's say 4 first-round picks from the Knicks to tie in with the 4 first-round picks that they got from Gobert. I mean, those 8 picks, you could build a hellified team for much more than what you would do simply by just making Oladipo.
But the key about that is the Knicks have to pick the right players, and can we trust the Knicks GM to pick the right players?
You mean Utah?
Utah, yes, Utah. I don't know why I said the Knicks, but yeah.
I mean, perhaps. Maybe because didn't they draft Gordon Hayward? He was.
I'd give Utah. Let me rephrase that. I'd give Utah a lot better chance of doing good in the draft than I would the Knicks.
Also remember,
I don't know why I was thinking the Knicks.
Hey, but also remember that Danny Ainge is over there at Utah, so Ainge is a pretty good evaluation of talent.
No, I trust Ainge over there in Utah. I was thinking the Knicks for some damn reason.
Yeah, I just think Ainge has a good evaluation of talent, and I think if you give Danny Ainge 4 first rounders. And with his acumen, I think that Utah could definitely make a lot more out of that. I mean, that could really be good, in terms of for them, more so than a Hero Oladipo and maybe 1 or 2 picks. I think New York for Donovan makes great sense for him because he loves that area. He's from that area, so it works out well for him. I think it works out well for New York, even though New York still needs to find size to really get back in competition. But it really gets him in a good spot. Donovan's still young; he's got a lot of youth to him. RJ Barrett got youth. I mean, they got youth on their side. And I think for Utah, 8 first rounders, given Danny Ainge acumen, I mean, I think it works out. I think that specific destination really is attractive for both parties.
Look, I just want to touch on something that you're saying, Jay, because you're talking about the size that the Knicks are kind of lacking. Here's the problem with that. They have size. They have younger size that they're just not utilizing.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not that they don't have the size. It's just they don't want to utilize the young talent. Now, whatever reason it is, who knows? To me, it makes no sense that they would trade. Oh, what was his name? He went to Duke with Zion. He was on Atlanta. It was when they traded Kevin Knox.
Reddish?
Yeah, Cam Reddish. There it is. I don't get what's the point of getting Cam Reddish and then Tom Thibodeau benches him and it's like, you're not going to play. And it's like, but what was the point? You basically just swap names to do the same thing because they weren't really trusting Kevin Knox anymore. And then you bring in Cam Reddish, and I guess
Cam Reddish was playing good in Atlanta.
He was. So that's where, like, to me, it's kind of like bonkers. Like, what are you doing? But, like, to be honest, and I kind of get what you're saying, Jay, with the size, but the problem is the best guy, for lack of a better term, the best guy in terms of size that they have is Julius Randle, and they don't want him, and Randle doesn't want to be there either.
That's right.
So it's kind of like it doesn't matter if you're giving up size. If the guy doesn't want to be there, he don't want to be there. There's nothing that could be done. There's nothing really that could be said. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah. I mean, it's not. I can't really equate what I'm thinking to that specific scenario, but it's just kind of like the Rockets, for size purposes, took on Boban from Dallas. That was really to make that trade work. But what are they going to do with Boban? He's 7'4", but he has no real athletic ability. I mean, other than to really make good commercials.
well, I mean, he'll be there for veteran leadership because in Dallas they kept Boban for one reason only. Every time Luka had a meltdown, who was there to kind of check him? Boban. Anybody in that roster who had a meltdown, who would check him? Boban.
So what you're saying is the Rockets got a 7'4", extremely well-educated psychologist.
Babysitter. That's what they got. They got a babysitter.
Yeah, we got a really good
and that's not bad because where Boban is at the end of his career, that's kind of like the role he's playing. So
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it, but the Rockets do need that veteran that can help teach the young guys. Okay, because Boban is smart. You know what I mean? Especially
I think what Eric Gordon would do for them, though. You know what I mean?
You said what now?
That's kind of what I was thinking Eric Gordon would do for them in that veteran leadership role.
I mean, that's to an extent. Because remember, Eric Gordon is still hooping. So he's like, yeah, I'll give you advice, but you can't be better than me because I'm trying to hoop so I can get traded.
Well, that's true. Because he's still – I mean, Eric Gordon is – I'm really surprised the Rockets have not maybe looked for a destination for him just because, I know he wants to win now. Obviously, he's a little older, so he wants to win now. And, honestly, I think the Rockets kind of, almost owe it to Eric Gordon, for being the loyal guy that he has been, to kind of let him go look at other places or see if they find a better spot because he is still a really good – even a good six-man.
Jay, it said the Sixers have made multiple offers, but they've just shot it down every time. So.
Yeah, I don't think Sixers are coming into this. I think it's definitely that way. Logan, I don't know if I got you in this. Did you come on Mitchell already?
Yep, we're good.
All right, we're going to move this bad boy along. We still got some of the topics, but I like the energy so far, man. And it's going to be interesting to see where Donovan Mitchell runs off to. It's going to be like I said, you got Mitchell out there, you got Ayton out there, and we're going to see. Gary Moore passes away. If you know about Gary Moore, he had a really, really good, extensive career over there in the college ranks. Not so much, I don't think, in NFL. I think with the Lions and Jags and I believe who else did he go to? The Bears and so forth. He kind of didn't really translate, his level of success that he had with Michigan on that front. But, man, talk about just a hell of a career for the former coach, in the Big Ten. I mean, I think he led them in 1990 to a 44-13-3 record, I think over 5 years. He did quite well. I think he got Logan, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe he got, I think it was the Rose Bowl that he won as well as there was another bowl that he won.
Yeah, they won, let's see, so they won the Gator Bowl in 90, the Rose Bowl in 92, and then the Holiday Bowl in 94, as well as the Hall of Fame Bowl in 93. So, 4 out of 5 in terms of bowls wins. Not bad.
And he did go into the heart of – look, if you know anything about Michigan and Ohio, they hate each other. I had a friend of mine that was a Michigan fan, and he couldn't stand Ohio. He hated Ohio. And for, Moore to go into Ohio and snag up a couple of Heisman winners out of that state, impeccable. Just impeccable. But yeah, man, Logan, what's your thought process on Mr. Moeller? His unfortunate passing away again for college football and the football ranks. It's sad to see him go, but man, he had a hell of a legacy. And let's be honest, folks, he was 81 damn years old. If I could get close to 81, I'm thinking that's a hellified life, in my opinion. But Logan,
yeah, he lived a full life, like you said. He lived to 81. His 81st birthday was just earlier this month in July 11th. And like you said, a Michigan legend, was there for quite some time. Like you said, bounced around the NFL for a little bit. And, 2-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, 91 and 92 back-to-back seasons, 3 Big Ten championships for the Wolverines. This is a great head coach and an unfortunate loss for Michigan Wolverines, the Lions, all the other teams he was a part of. But most importantly, his family, man. He said he lived a long life, a great life, and will surely be missed.
Gonzo.
Oh yeah, he's a great coach.
Out there in Indiana.
No, he was a great coach, and he didn't have a long tenure there in Michigan, but for what he done in his tenure at Michigan is right up there with any other coach there is. I mean, 3 Big Ten titles, 4-1 in bowl games, and 5 seasons. And I mean, the Big Ten was a strong conference back then as well. So, he only coached 5 years in college, but in those 5 years, 2-time coach of the year, like Logan said, there's not many coaches that have accomplished what he accomplished in 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And probably like Gonzo had said, it wasn't really they were at Michigan long, but in the 5 years, like he said, 2-time coach, 4 bowl victories. First, I think he won the conference 3 years in a row. He did. I think he really compacted. But again, the title winners that he plucked out of Ohio. I mean, he really packed a lot in that first 5-year stint there in Michigan. What do you think about Mr. Moeller?
He's the classic definition of quality over quantity. Like he wasn't a coach that long, but again, 4 out of 5 bowl game wins. Like, let's be honest, that's phenomenal. Phenomenal college collegiate coach. So rip, as the children say.
Yeah, again, I mean, 81 years old. And look, if you can do all that, hell, if I could even just get one coaching opportunity in my life, I would just be like the pinnacle. And, again, what he's done in his life, when you measure it, again, 81 years old, incredible family, everybody looks up to him, is well-respected. I mean, man, I'll tell you, man, hey, I know a lot of times, we tend to mourn people when they're passing, but sometimes I think we have to look at people when they pass at their life, especially at 81 years, and just celebrate all that they did and accomplished, because it is really quite amazing. All right, next one up. ESPN, this is what I kind of really want. Pride. This is what I want you, it's what you hear, baby. Hey, I want the knowledge. ESPN releases top 10 quarterback. Actually, it was Get Up that released their top 10 quarterback list. And the game I want to kind of play here is high-low. Now, I think all of us are going to look at this list and be like, oh, hell no. I think a large populace would look at this list and say, oh, hell no. But a couple of things I want to point out. Not Dak Prescott, but listen, Lamar Jackson recently came out, and actually it was Bernard Pollard that came out on Lamar Jackson and said, hey, a lot of wide receivers love the guy, but a lot of the top wide receivers don't necessarily want to play with Lamar Jackson because they don't think that he can make the throws. And I guess they're afraid that they'd be wasting their time there if they had to play with Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson fires back, and of course I'm loosely translating, but Lamar Jackson kind of fires back on Bernard Pollard and says, hey, you only got your ring because you played with Ray Lewis. So, again, I do think based on athleticism, based on MVP, based on how far that Lamar Jackson's gone in the playoffs, that certainly, I'm going to tell you right off the rip for me, Dak Prescott, and I'm a Cowboys fan, everybody knows this, but I'm going to keep it 100% real. Dak Prescott does not belong on this list. He's maybe, I don't know, if you want to be, I guess a little bit nicer to Dak, I would say maybe around 12, maybe 11, 12, somewhere around that neighborhood, but certainly not at number 10. And the fact that they let Lamar Jackson off of this list, to me, is kind of a travesty in its own right. And again, I know we talk about Carr. Carr's not on this list. I think Carr, is probably a little bit better than a few. So
that's the travesty for me, in all honesty. I mean, look, no disrespect.
Yeah.
The travesty for me, God.
Deshaun Watson, he's a talent.
He didn't play last season.
But that's the problem. How can you sit here and rank a dude that hasn't played last year? For all I know, he can come back and his arm could be shot. No, I'm not ranking him.
Let me ask you this, Pride, and I guess
I don't know who's smoking, bro.
Hey, but Pride, and the question I have on that is, and I have a feeling the reason why, and I'm trying to make sense of why they have him on here. Number one, Deshaun Watson, when he left the game of football, we all know he was riding pretty damn high in terms of skill sets and what he could do. But like you said, he has been gone for a while, so I still think maybe he's on this list off of past experiences in the NFL that he's had. Do you think that because he hasn't played
it doesn't matter.
Years,
No, because then you know what I can do? You want to know what I can honestly do? I can now cherry pick certain guys and look to the year before to try to get them in the top 10.
That's true.
I'm not going to make it accept. And listen, I like Deshaun Watson. I'm a Deshaun, in terms of playing football, because you can't say you're a Deshaun Watson fan now because then people think that you're trying to, absolve what he did, if he ends up being guilty. But playing football, I'm a fan of Deshaun Watson. I am. However, He missed a full year. By that same token, if Drew Brees were to come back, where are we ranking him? Oh, he missed a year, so we can't rank him. It's the same thing with Deshaun.
That's true. That's a good point.
Also, too, Jay, I just want to point out, how is the quarterback who won a Super Bowl last year number 6?
Hold on, and we're going to get to that. Hold on a minute now, because I don't want to go too far. Because again, we're going to play this game. It's high-low, and everybody, look. Here's how it looks. There's 10 quarterbacks on here. I'm going to tell you a quarterback. We're just going to go right through the list, okay? Right. And when we get to a list, and when we get to a quarterback, like for example, I'll give you an example. I'm going to say Logan, Aaron Rodgers. Is he too high, too low? And then you'll give me your answer.
I got you.
I'll give you another example.
I mean, the name of the game is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, we got you, Jay.
Hey, when I get to a guy like Dak Prescott, if you think that he doesn't belong on the list, then you say, hey, he doesn't belong on the list, and then who would you replace him with? So give me, not only do you take him out, but who would be his replacement in this list? So that's what we're going to do. And again, if somebody gives an answer, like let's say hypothetically you say Josh Allen should be like 6, and Pry's like, get the F out of here, Pry. I'm gonna give you a chance to rebuttal.
I was explaining the rules longer than the actual segment.
If you think the rules is completely wrong, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to state your case why you think Logan is wrong.
Chris, you almost got a home run there, brother.
Now, I'm gonna ask you this. Hey, after he's done talking, I'm gonna say, hey, does anybody have a rebuttal to what this specific guy said about this quarterback? And if you got a rebuttal, that's your time to chime in, okay? But let him get out everything he's going to say, and then you can chime in if you think Logan is just completely off his rocker. All right,
boys,
so
you got it.
Said that,
off the fucking wall.
Hey, so Aaron Rodgers, they got him ranked number 1.
My TV's a little bit behind yours, Logan.
I got the MLB TV app on, so that might be why.
Cool guy.
Hey, listen, focus.
We got you, Jay.
Worst NBA players I've ever played with. Focus.
What's the question?
We're waiting on you. We're waiting on it to start.
All right, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, I feel coming into 22, you got to put the MVP of last season, at least 1 or 2. So I'm okay with it.
That's nuts, dude. You're smoking herbs.
Nah, I'm sober, bro.
Logan, hold on, Logan. So you think Aaron Rodgers should be at least top 2, right?
I mean, he won MVP last season, man.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Yes. How old are you?
24.
What's half of 24?
12.
Well, that's the IQ number you're posing out with a stupid take like that. Look here, bro.
I went to college.
Oh, could have fooled me. Aaron Rodgers. At some point, we need to start understanding Aaron Rodgers is not the best quarterback. He's never been. Fanboys are desperate. If you want to say top 5, I'll say he's not better than Mahomes. He's not better than Mahomes. He's not better than Josh Allen. He's not better than Tom Brady. He's not better than Matthew Stafford. I just accidentally named 4 guys that he's not better than. That's 4 guys I accidentally named that's better than him. You want me to keep going? Do you want me to keep going?
Actually, Jay, can you explain the rules again? I'm kind of confused here.
No, I'm just telling you you're wrong. I can't stand you.
No, but you gotta put. I feel like you gotta put the MVP top 2. Come on, he won last year.
So then by your logic, where's the Super Bowl champion then? So where's Matthew Stafford?
Like I said, he's got to move up some.
So is he 2 then? So is he 2?
I'd say 1 or 2.
Smoking.
Coming
Chris,
into the
year. What you want, Chris? No way, man.
I got accomplishments.
Bro, Matthew, I stumbled into a ring. Stafford is not a top 2 quarterback. What are we talking about? Okay, can I ask you a question? Stafford and Rodgers. Is either one of their names Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes?
According to their birth certificate, no.
So you can lick my crusty toes. I'm good. Because that's 1 and 2. You can fight over who's 1 and 2. I don't give a flying chopstick. You can fight over who's 1 and 2. I'm chilling. I'm vibing. It's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron one-hit wonder Rodgers. What are we talking about, bro? You want to talk about accomplishments? My boy Patrick Mahomes. He's not even my boy, and I'm calling him my boy. That's how mad you got me. No way. If you want to say top 5, I'll let that slide. I'll let top 5 slide, bro. Well, come on, bro. I just named 4 quarterbacks who's better than him. I'm not even mentioning a lot of people believe Justin Herbert is better. Joe Burrow is better. These are some of the guys that people will make legitimate arguments for. Again, if you want to say top 5, sure, I get it. He won the MVP, but come on, man, stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Stop playing. Because it's
All right, Chris.
All right, folks, we're going to move on now to number 2. Patrick Mahomes. Too high or too low, Gonzo?
Gonzo said he'll be right back, Jay.
Oh, Gonzo said he'll be right. Okay, we're going to slide down then. And we're going to go to Mr. Prime. Prime, Gonzo. Too high or too low or just right?
honestly, for me, only reason why I'm saying he's too low is because of who's above him. The only quarterback who has any legitimate argument to be above Patrick Mahomes is Josh Allen. So that's why I'm going to say too low, because the mere fact that, you know what I mean? So just because of that. Right, yeah. So if it was Josh Allen one, I wouldn't mind. That's the thing. Like if it was Josh Allen,
is right where he needs to be, but Josh Allen just needs to be number 1 to make this correct for me.
That's what I'm saying. And if you want to have Patrick Mahomes 1, I'm not mad at that either. I'm really not. But like I said, for Patrick Mahomes, it's too low just because the guy above him is not Josh Allen.
My only thing with that is it's a hard one for me because I feel like, with Josh Allen and kind of like what he's doing with that team and things of that nature. Granted, Patrick Mahomes, and I think that the only caveat would be, or the only thing for me that I guess would keep Patrick Mahomes at number 1 over Josh Allen is the fact that he does have a Super Bowl. And you can't ignore that fact. But I think if it wasn't for the Super Bowl, I think skill set like Josh Allen, for me, he's my number 1 guy, man. This year, that guy's just amazing. But anyway, Big Shot Rob, man. Hey, glad you made the show. I know you were in your car earlier, man. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right, man. Yourself?
Hey, no complaints. Probably drew a little bit of blood on Logan. Logan kind of backed down, went into his turtle shell. But I'm waiting for Logan to fire back so we can get some sauciness up in here. But other than that, man, let me ask you a question. Like I said, we're playing the high-low game off of Get Up's top 10 quarterback list. And so I ask you a quarterback in the list, and you're going to tell me where he's ranked on this list, if it's too high, too low, or whatever the case may be.
All right.
So, again, we just finished with Patrick Mahomes. Now we're at Josh Allen, number 3. Is he too high, too low, or is he ranked where he should be?
I think Josh Allen needs to be number 2, and then you should put, obviously, Mahomes at 1. I like Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he's won the MVPs, but he just doesn't perform in the playoffs for me, and like as a quarterback, I got to take a look at that, and that matters to me. I know like he has great regular seasons, and he puts up the stats, but you got to be able to do it in the playoffs, man. And then Aaron Rodgers been to 1 Super Bowl only since 2010? We're in 2022 now. He's been to 1 Super Bowl, and he's like 1-4 in NFC Championship games. So he doesn't perform, in the playoffs. That's where a quarterback's name usually is made at the highest level. So, yeah, I would go Mahomes 1. He's been to the AFC Championship a few times, Super Bowl a couple of times. He does have a Super Bowl ring, and then I would probably go Josh Allen 2. Josh Allen just made like huge strides in Buffalo since he's been the quarterback. Put up huge numbers, and that Bills team is a very dangerous team going in this year. They're probably one of the favorites to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, I was kind of surprised they didn't get there last year, but that was a hell of a game with Kansas City last year. We'll see what Buffalo does this year. They are, I think, one of the favorites. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and then we move down to number 4, where Tom Brady is. That's my pick, and I think Brady's a little low on this list, just because of what he's done in the NFL. And let's be honest, he really hasn't faded out as much as I thought he would. And given the fact of how well they played against the Rams and how hard they pushed the Super Bowl winning Rams to the brink, which was not necessarily all due to the fact that. Or Brady's loss in that was not due to the fact of him, as it was just a collective team effort that just didn't get it done against the Rams. But for me, in my opinion, I would have Brady at number 3, and I do have again, I got Josh Allen at 1. I got Patrick Mahomes at 2. I got Josh Allen at 1, not because there's a disrespect to Mahomes' Super Bowl, but I just feel like his skill sets are just really, really incredible. And that's why I have him there. But again, like Pride said earlier, you can have Mahomes at 1 and Allen at 2, and I'd be okay with that too. And put Brady at 3, and I'm fine. So either way, I think I would be okay with. We're gonna slide down to number 5, Joe Burrow. Slide back up to Logan and say Joe Burrow at number 5, too high or
Hey, wait a minute, man. I ain't
You
got
left out Chris.
Did you not know? Did I skip you?
Chris was gone. Remember what I said? He's back now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't. Wait, hold on. Don't hold that against me. I called you, and yeah, my brain wasn't quite functioning because in my mind I already called you. My bad. So again, I'm gonna go to Burrow. Then in this case, for Gonzo, I'm gonna give that question to Gonzo. And I think that's actually a really good one because I think Gonzo's probably gonna move him somewhere based off this list. So Gonzo, number 5, Joe Burrow. What are we putting him at?
Oh, we're on number 5.
Yeah, your question was actually Pat Ramsey, but you weren't here, so I'm giving you Joe Burrow at number 5.
Ramsey.
Yeah, I don't know what he's
Mahomes?
You got me laughing now. On Burrow, I would have Burrow. Actually, I would move Burrow back to 6.
So you would swap him with Stafford.
Well, actually, I would have Stafford at 4,
So where'd you put Brady?
5.
So you'd put Stafford 4, Brady 5, Burrow 6.
Yes. I would have Rodgers at 1, Allen at 2, and Mahomes at 3.
Yeah, I mean, again, with what Stafford with the Super Bowl, man, I get that. So yeah, okay. So you got Burrow.
Yeah. See, I can
agree
live
with
that.
you, Logan. I agree with you on Rodgers.
See, I was going off a recency bias. That's what I was basing mine off of.
I agree with you on
I was going
Rodgers
off a
because
career.
yeah, I agree with you on Rodgers because he's been the back-to-back league MVP.
Right.
So I mean, it's hard.
So, I mean, you got to have him at least 1, 2. I feel like 3 might be too low, just because, like you said, he's won back-to-back. That's hard to do.
No, that's why
I
understand
the postseason. I understand that.
You got Aaron Rodgers at number 1. Just stick by your decision. Damn, don't let pride push you around. Just take it number 1. You got
No, I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying. I was going off of recency bias, and then you were throwing out career numbers. I'm like, hold on now.
No, I got Rodgers at 1.
Yeah. So for Burrow, I feel like I would flip him with Stafford on this top 10 list because, I mean, obviously Stafford beat him last year.
Yeah, I had Stafford at 4, but Brady at 5. But yeah, I could see that too.
So the both of you pretty much agree then that Joe Burrow should be at 6, which I'm fine with that, honestly.
I feel like him and Stafford need to be flipped.
Yeah, I put
Only because he beat him in the Super Bowl. I mean,
I put Stafford at 5, and then
no doubt Burrow's got a tremendous future.
6.
There's no questioning that. But I mean,
you can't put Tom Brady below those two guys. You can't put Tom Brady below.
So you're putting Brady at 6.
No, I'm putting Brady. I'm keeping Brady at 4 where he belongs.
Okay, I got you.
I'll put Stafford
you can't
at
put
5,
either of
and I'll
those above
switch-
Brady.
I'll
Not
put
right now.
Stafford at 5, and then I'll switch Burrow to 6.
Okay.
And yeah,
So I like the whole panel then, because the next quarterback coming up was Stafford, but I think we've all kind of answered that already, that we would have Stafford at 5 and Burrow at 6. So that pretty much cements Stafford then.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert. Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting. We got Herbert, Wilson, Watson, and Prescott still left on the list, and there are other quarterbacks that aren't on this list. So this is where I think it gets kind of interesting. Again, if you think a guy belongs off the list, then just tell me who his replacement should be then. So we're going to come down to Justin Herbert, and now we're picking back up with Logan. Justin Herbert, what are we looking at?
I'm dropping him. I don't know how far, but I do want Derek Carr on my list. And Derek Carr beat Herbert in the wild card game play-in last year. So I would drop Herbert. See, I don't know if I would put Wilson at 7. I put Carr at 8. And I put Herbert at 9. Because I'm with Pride. I don't think Deshaun should be in the list just because he didn't play it all last year.
that's true.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
So
I would drop him.
You had Herbert where?
I would put Herbert at 9. I would put Russ at 7. And I'd put Carr at 8 in between. And I would move out Deshaun.
I'm okay with that. I just feel like, Man, wow. I just feel like Herbert right now, currently, I think he's a little bit. I think he's putting. I don't think he's better overall, career-wise, better than Wilson. But I think that this year, or right now, present day, I think Herbert outperforming Wilson. So that would be my only drawback. Is I feel like Wilson. I'm actually okay with Herbert being at 7, or even putting Carr on the list, taking out Deshaun, putting Carr on the list, putting Carr at 7, and having Herbert at 8. I'm okay with that. That's a little bit.
I'd put Carr at 7 and Herbert at 8, and move Russell Wilson to 9.
Also, Damien put his top 10 in the comments. Jay, throw that up for a minute.
Yeah, I already put that up.
I did. Okay.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so Rob,
Justin Fields.
I think you covered
played last season.
I think you pretty much heard at least 7 through 9 of what Logan, me, and Gonzo were looking at. What exactly would be your? And we can just do that. 7 through 9 looking like for you, based off of what you see currently up there.
Yeah, I would up Russell Wilson to 7. I'd up Russell Wilson to 7. Probably move Derek Carr, move Russell Wilson to 7. Drop Justin Herbert, maybe to like 9. Put Derek Carr at maybe 8, and then I guess put Dak at 10. It's so tough, though, man.
Jay, would you put Dak in at 10, taking off all bias, of course? Would you put Dak in there over?
I would put Russell Wilson over Herbert because he's won a Super Bowl.
He's won Super Bowls.
He's won Super Bowl. Yeah, he's won a Super Bowl. He's had more playoff experience. Justin Herbert just doesn't have the playoff experience, but he definitely has the stats. He's performing.
Right.
Damn, it's so tough. I'm thinking maybe.
But then that's the thing is that
maybe I would put
because Lamar's not on there and he's an MVP.
Yeah.
You know.
I would drop Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I don't know why Lamar's not on there either. Maybe.
Well, I mean, I definitely put Lamar on there. Watson. You got
even though
Deshaun Watson with the Lamar in, so now you really got to figure out who would you put in for to replace Dak if you're going to replace Dak.
I'd put Lamar. That's the one I can think of, really. I mean,
I would drop Deshaun out of the top 10. Put Lamar in, and maybe okay, so Russell Wilson could be
Kirk Cousins at 10.
Okay, Lamar Jackson maybe at 8, 9 Dak, and then maybe 10. Well, let me see here. It's tough to figure out.
I'm gonna say really is tough.
So Russell Wilson at 7.
I
would go Russell Wilson at 7. 8 would probably be Lamar Jackson. 9 would probably be Dak. I guess you could put Derek Carr at 10. That wouldn't be bad. I'm trying to look at guys like as a whole, as far as like making the playoffs and stuff. Like if they made the playoffs and what have they done in the playoffs? Because I don't think it should.
Because truthfully, I think what hurts Dak being on this list is, and if I'm just being real, when I see Dak in the regular season, he's lights out. He's good. I think regular season Dak is top 10. But my problem is when we get to the playoffs, I don't get regular season Dak. I get the alternate version, and I don't know if that's all play calling from Keller Williams or whatever that dude's name is, Kellers or whatever, or if it's an offensive coordinator issue, if it's a Mike McCarthy issue, or if it's just a Dak, or if it's a combination. But whenever Dak hits the playoffs, it's just not the same quarterback as regular season Dak. And I guess that's kind of where my problem with Dak being on the list is. I think Lamar, and I think it's kind of where Lamar Jackson. I first had Lamar at number 10, and I had Carr replacing Deshaun Watson, but at number 7 or 8, if you want to flip to Herbert and Carr. So I don't know. Interesting.
I feel like you could definitely flip these around a decent bit, but there's not like someone like not egregious that we're missing. You know what I mean?
I think Deshaun Watson. Right. I mean, not Deshaun Watson. Justin Herbert has the ability to be better than all these guys because he's he's the youngest. He's what, 24?
He's 24.
Russell Wilson 33. Deshaun 26. Dak's 28. How old is Lamar?
Lamar's like 25. Lamar's still young too.
Lamar's 25. Lamar could get there too.
25, 26. Yeah.
Josh Allen's 25. So yeah.
I think Josh Allen is right there with Herbert. I think he's around 24, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
I have to say Allen. It says Allen's 25.
Josh Allen came out in the draft with Darnold. Him and Darnold came out together.
Yeah.
Was he? Yeah. In 18, I think so.
Yeah, the problem with Deshaun, he just hasn't.
He hasn't played last year.
He didn't
Like
play
I
last
said,
year.
he's tremendous. I love him in the regular season. He led the league in passing in 2020. Right. He didn't play last year. How can you put a guy who didn't play last season on your top 10 list? I understand, and he might get suspended for 6 games.
Josh Allen's 26, so that kind of puts you in that spot.
25, 26, yeah.
When you look at this list, the only guy that's had really success in the playoffs is the oldest guy, 33. That's Russell Wilson. None of these guys have really had success in the playoffs. They made the playoffs.
On the other half,
they haven't really done. They haven't done much in the playoffs. Lamar's made the playoffs a couple of times. I think he won 1 game. Deshaun's made it a couple of times. I think he might have won 1 game. Dak's made it a few times. He might have won 1 game, but the only guy that has a Super Bowl on this list is Russell Wilson.
Yeah. On that latter half.
The only one I kind of addressed before we move on to the next topic was David Hernandez is saying why is Carr top 10? And again, a lot of people don't think give Carr the due respect that he doesn't get. I mean, he's so underrated. He goes on the radar of a lot of people, but Carr has really done a hell of a lot with an organization that typically has always given everything back. In other words, you got rugs out there, things like that. But there's also other aspects that that they haven't necessarily given Carr all the help with. And so I think Carr really does get.
I don't understand it, Jay. He rarely, if ever, misses games. Right? He's always on the field. He's thrown for over 30,000 total yards. He's gotten a great touchdown completion percentage. Like I don't know. I don't get the distance.
I like Carr.
I don't know. Sometimes
plus he's consistent.
Career, I don't know
Like
if his career gets kind of sort of linked with his brother. Because his brother had a terrible career, not really too much to just call.
His brother.
But
I'd say I'd put Carr at 7.
Yeah,
I think that's a little bit too high for him, but this is definitely a make or break year for him because look at all the weapons he's got around him.
I'm about to say this is gonna be a good
He's
year.
got Devontae Adams, he's got Hunter Renfrow,
Got Waller,
and a lot of this,
you got Waller, you got Josh Jacobs. Yeah, it's a make or break year for him.
And a lot of it, when you look at a list like this, too, goes by how are you looking at? Are you looking at it by what you think they're going to do this year? Are you looking at it by what they've done in the past? So
if
you can look, what I mean. So you can look at it a lot of different ways and come up with a lot of different
and that's
results.
And that's why I threw Stafford up high, just because he's coming off the Super Bowl. That proves obviously his team that he led the team give him a Super Bowl. I mean, recency bias is a thing.
Yeah. What he did go to a better team.
We're going to move on real quick for time purposes. We're going to move on to the Blue Jays firing Montoyo, who's next. And again, Blue Jays are right there in the thick of the wild card, so they're in a really, they're in a good spot. But yet now we're shaking up management and looking for, and we're giving the bench coach, the job. And now we're trying to figure out, okay, who's going to lead this team? I was thinking, Logan, to your Braves, you guys got some really good managerial prospects over there in your organization. And the one that really kind of stood out to me, I thought would be a good replacement, would be Eddie Perez. He was Tom Glavine's catcher for a long time. So as a catcher, he has really good knowledge of the game, really good knowledge of shifts and play calling and all those types of things. So I think he's got really good experience. He also coached in the Venezuelan Winter League, so it's not like he doesn't have coaching experience, and it's not like he doesn't the acumen from the catching position to back some of that up. So I think Eddie Perez, in my opinion, would be a good spot to plug in there. Logan, again, I'm plugging off your Brave squad. What do you think?
I don't see Eddie leaving, only because like you said, he's been with the Braves as long as I can remember. I mean, he's been there forever, and I don't see it. I don't know who would be up next for the Blue Jays job, because I mean, this dude was the definition of middle of the road. He finished his career right at 500. So the Blue Jays, like you said, they've been disappointing this year. There's no way around it, and they figured shake things up. As for who's next in terms of I think who might get fired next, Tony La Russa might be on the chopping block for me. I get there's interest.
I'd fire him, fire David Bell in Cincinnati.
I knew that was coming. I mean, let me just look here. I mean, maybe I forget who's the Nationals coach. I mean, they suck this year. They are not looking
Davey
good.
Johnson, I think.
Is he still there?
I think he might be. I'm not sure.
Oh,
yep.
Maybe.
But no, I agree with Logan. I think Tony La Russa is going to be the next one that gets fired.
Yeah, just because
Probably,
his team is.
I don't see how he does it. I don't see how he hasn't got fired.
They are
walking by that he's got strikes on.
They're 2 games under 500 right now. They're a team who I picked to win the AL Central, I believe. And
Yeah.
I don't think they're turning around.
Only reason he hasn't got fired yet is because of who the owner is, Jerry Dinesdorf, and he's a real loyal guy. He takes forever before he'll fire anybody.
Right.
But
also,
La Russa has to be getting up to the end of that damn leash.
Yeah, Damien, who was a White Sox fan, said, "Please send La Russa to the Blue Jays." Yeah, no, I think Tony's probably the one that immediately comes to mind. Obviously, in terms of teams who aren't the bottom of the league, but teams who are underperforming, and the White Sox are the definition. And along with the Blue Jays, too. I mean, the Blue Jays, I thought they would be a lot better this year, underperforming.
Yeah, I did, too.
I thought the Blue Jays would be right there with the Yankees in terms of top of the AL East. But, I mean, my God, the Orioles are 2 games behind them right now. Shout out to O's 10-game win streak.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a long time since the Orioles have been relevant.
It's been a long time coming, man. I'm happy for them.
Big shot, Rob. What do you think about Montoya, man? Who, obviously he's let go. Who do you think they should look at?
Well, right now they promoted John Schneider to be the manager for the rest of the year. But after that, I see Joe Esposito from the Astros, your Astros, as a possible replacement. Yeah, and then also I'm reading here that obviously Eddie Perez from the Braves. So those would be the 3 main guys that would probably get the job right there. That's what I'm looking at. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays look like they're on the right track, but I mean,
I guess not.
I don't know what's happened with them.
You think this will turn them around, or you think it's going to be like an Angels situation where it just kind of backfires? I mean, the Angels have been horrid since they got rid of Matt. I mean, they weren't great when they fired him, but since they fired him, they've been maybe even worse.
Yeah, I hope it'll turn them around. I mean, the AL East is a competitive division.
Oh yeah,
you got the Yankees, the Rays,
the Red Sox are coming up good. The Rays have been getting better.
Just a tough division.
Damien said, "Do you think Ozzie?" Damien said, "Do you think Ozzie Guillen will ever come back?" I don't see it. He hasn't coached in 10 years.
Nah.
I get La Russa didn't coach in 10, but I still scratch my head over that one.
La Russa's still got World Series though with the A's though.
I would say La Russa's got multiple World Series, and Guillen's just got that one, I believe, from 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do in terms of who they bring in, whether they keep the interim for the rest of the year or if they actually do bring a new skipper to take over. Again, these guys are in a vulnerable spot right there at the top, or close to the top of, the wild card. So, how much do you rock this team and start losing in that positioning? It's going to be interesting to see.
Yes, it is.
All right.
What's up next, Jay?
I'm pulling it up. NHL free agency. We kind of combined a couple of topics because Goudreau signed on with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
They got with you, Chris.
Woo! Chris, I'm gonna let you start this off. I know you got a lot of NHL in you. What do you think about Goudreau?
I know a lot about the NHL. I'm looking forward to this.
Quick, what does NHL stand for, Chris?
National Hot Dog League.
Close enough. Shout out Joey Chestnut.
No, I don't know a whole lot about hockey. I just started watching it more this year. I do know this, that if you go to a live hockey game, it was freaking awesome. I went to a game. I love going live. I did start watching more of it this year, but from what I hear, this was a real big get for Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice to see how they do it. But I picked them because they were the closest team to me. So hopefully they start getting better.
As a Dallas Stars guy, we picked up left wing Mason. How was his name right? Marchment, left wing. He had a breakout year with the Panthers. Last season, he scored 47 points, and that's pretty much the highlight of pretty much our free agency as far as. So the Stars, we didn't draft well. I'm not really all excited about the free agency moves or lack thereof. So I kind of see my stars as just status quo next year from what we did this year. Logan, come on, man. What you got, brother?
Yeah, so looking at my team, right, the Hurricanes who I've picked, they've been doing a lot. They've been wheeling and dealing in terms of getting rid of players, bringing new ones. Let's see. So they've signed, if I can, this is right here. They've gotten a few young guys, no one of real experience. They got a guy from Vegas. So I think, but other than that, they've traded away a lot of good players. They got Burns from, where is he from? With San Jose with the Sharks, who's a veteran, and he's got like half his teeth missing. Definition of a hockey player. So
typical, absolutely.
They got rid of some of their younger players for some vets, which I understand because, like I said, they got to the playoffs last year. They did pretty well, but they just need some of that veteran leadership. So they're kind of hoping that even though you are getting rid of some of your better pieces, that these vets can kind of make up for it. And like I said, Chris got the good one with Goudreau going over there for 7 years, about $70 million. So getting paid a lot of money.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Rob, are you a Buffalo Sabres fan? Who's your hockey team?
Oh, Florida Panthers, man.
Panthers.
That's right. Okay, that's right. Because you have ties down there in Florida. I do forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
So again, we got Marchment from you guys. What do you think about your free agency so far?
Yeah, they said we got Mark and Eric Stahl here.
Two brothers.
Yeah, two brothers. They're going to join the team. Let me just look at some of their stats here.
That seems more common in hockey than
Stahl,
other
Eric
brothers.
Eric Stahl has 441 goals and 1,034 points in 1,293 games. A good chunk of that came in Carolina when he's with the Hurricanes. Now he's with our coach here, Paul Maurice. And then it says Mark Stahl. He's 35. He was the 12th overall pick by the Rangers in 2005. Spent most of his career there. He spent his past 2 seasons in Detroit. He scored 3 goals with 16 points in 71 games last year. So these guys, they have like some experience, and I think that's what the Panthers need because the Panthers have a lot of speed. They have a lot of young guys on that team. So the more veteran experience you have, I think that'll help them when you get into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
But playing a team like Tampa Bay, you're going to need the experience because Tampa Bay coming in this season was the 2-time champion, and obviously they got to the Stanley Cup Finals and they lost to the Colorado Avalanche, who I believe was the best team all year in hockey and very, very fast, aggressive team. They were very they played very well on the power play. They scored a lot of power play goals and a lot of goals like out in the open ice. So the Panthers, they got the speed, but they just have to add the veteran leadership. Once they do that, I think they're going to definitely get better. Hopefully next year they'll be able to make it past the second round, maybe get to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe the Stanley Cup Finals. Who knows? We'll see.
What's interesting to me, and kind of just going back to Gaudreau for a second, I really kind of thought New Jersey would have had a good shot landing him. They certainly have a lot of cap space at $27 million, and they certainly had cornerstones in place to compete for a cup with Hughes, Hisshire, and Hamilton, all under contract. The only thing they really needed to do was work the goalie, or get a little bit better at the goalie spot. If they would have added Gaudreau and developed that little bit of a goalie, they would have been pretty good contenders for a cup. But obviously, New Jersey did not get that done. But I really kind of thought he might go there and try to compete for a cup over there with those guys.
Like I said, free agency just started a few days ago, so we'll see what else happens, who all signs where. And like we said, Jay, last week, we're going to start covering more hockey. And what are we doing? Covering that hockey.
More hockey, baby. Yep. Covering the hockey.
Covering that hockey.
God, man, if only the Stars could just do something to make me excited about it.
I feel you.
Jeez, it's so hard to be cool. Top 5 active NFL rushers. Without going too much into everything, my short list of my 5, I think you got to have T.J. Watt, the sack leader, defensive player of the year. If you look at his pro football focus score,
Jay.
He was right there at 91.8. Go ahead. What's up?
Hey, I gotta go, guys. It was nice talking to you. I'll see.
Oh yeah, hey.
I'll see you
later.
guys later.
Bye, Chris.
All right,
But
see you
yeah,
guys
man,
later.
hey, at 91.8, man, on that PFF score, I really kind of, he deserves number one. And then you kind of look at Myles Garrett. His Pro Football Focus score was at 91.9, just a tenth underneath T.J. Watt, so it was close. He's really good. He has a really good pressure rate and things of that nature. So I kind of put him at number 2 just for that. And then number 3, I got Michael Parsons. His pressure rate was 22.4. Obviously 22.4. And then I had Bosa, Joey Bosa, with his 85.8 Pro Football Focus score at number 4 with the 10 sacks and 6 forced fumbles. And then rounding out that list, I got Logan's Max Crosby, who led the league in pressures. And that's pretty much my top 5 current active edge rushers. Logan?
Not bad. I will say, Jay, I didn't put your boy Parsons only because I count him as a linebacker instead of an edge rusher, which I feel is fair, right? He's listed as a linebacker? Is he not? Am I crazy?
I don't know how you don't have Michael Parsons on your list, man.
Because when I think of edge,
I get his natural position is linebacker, but if you know the way they utilize him, they put him on the line a lot of times, and he does come off the line quite a bit as well.
Well, see, I only put my list for D ends and D tackles, and I have a good bit of those guys on there. I'm just saying, I didn't put Parsons there just because I count him as a linebacker. But my list, like I said, I got T.J. Watt number 1, obviously, because I did predict that he would win Defensive of the Year, and he did. So that is my money pick of last year. So I got him number 1. Number 2, I felt Garrett. I felt like he can have another bounce back year. For 3, I gotta go Joey Bosa out there in Los Angeles. For 4, oh man, it gets a little tougher now. 4, I might go. I don't know if I'm gonna put both Bosas on here. I might go Von Miller 4. He just got that big payday. And then 5.
Yeah.
5, I'll go Chandler Jones.
No, wait a minute now. Hold on a second. Von Miller's a linebacker, but yet you don't put Michael Parsons on there.
I thought Von Miller was listed as a defensive end.
Is he listed at defensive end? I thought he was listed at linebacker.
Well, if he is, I'll swap him out. But I thought he was always just on the end. But if not, then I can always put my boy Crosby on there.
I'm going to research
about anything.
Wow. Top 5 best defensive edge rushers. Who you got?
Well, one, I'm going to go with T.J. Watt since he won that last year.
Present players.
Active, yeah.
Yeah, right now, 1, I'm going to go with T.J. Watt since he won the award last year. Then 2, I'll go Myles Garrett. 3, I'll go with Nick Bosa from the 49ers. 4, I'll take Logan's guy from the Raiders, Max Crosby. And I guess 5, I'll go with Von Miller. He did get that big payday.
I need to see Von Miller. I could.
Yeah.
See, now you got me questioning things. I could have swore he was.
I do like Joey Bosa too. I don't know. It's kind of tough.
Okay.
It's kind of tough.
Okay.
Tough.
All right, I got you. Oh, we'll see. Learn something new today.
Logan trying to take that Von Miller red on me. Hey, listen, son.
Yeah.
I'll totally mess with Logan. He knows that. But no, hey, that's a good list. I do like your list. I think we all definitely agree that TJ is the number 1 edge rusher in the league. Yeah. Though I mean, that guy, his motor, his drive, his intelligence. I mean, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Let me see. Where are we at? We are at the end. Final thoughts. We made it. Not too bad a time. So, Logan, I want you to lead off these final thoughts, man. What is your final thoughts for tonight?
Final thoughts? Let's see. Go check out some baseball. That's the only thing going on. Only real sport going on right now. We got football around the corner. Basketball summer league still going on. And, of course, where will Kevin Durant and Kyrie go? We're still waiting to see. So, hopefully, might see by Saturday. Who knows?
Yes. Big shot, Rob.
Yeah, I think the news was official today with DeAndre Ayton signing that big contract with the Pacers. So, I think he's pretty much gone. As far as Kevin Durant goes, I don't think Kevin Durant will be going to Phoenix unless Phoenix can, match that offer from the Pacers. But I do like that move for the Pacers, getting DeAndre Ayton. I guess Miles Turner is pretty much out. I wonder where he's going to end up. And we got some good baseball going on tonight. The Reds and Yankees, their series is all tied up. Tonight's the third and final game of that series, so we'll see who takes the series. And the Marlins played earlier today. They beat the Pirates, so Marlins are starting to play a little bit better. 2 walk-off wins in a row. And we'll definitely see what happens with the NBA as far as Durant and Kyrie. When are they going to get traded? What's going to happen? And I would say that's pretty much it. We just, as far as baseball goes, All-Star breaks coming up. We'll see which teams could end the first half of the season doing pretty well going into the All-Star break. And then we got the second half of the season. But, looking forward to checking out that All-Star game. It should be fun to watch, being that it's in L.A. All the stars come out. So I would say, that's pretty much it.
So my final thoughts are this, and it's really more of a question for Logan per se. So right now, Atlanta is about 2.5 games behind the Mets in the division. You guys are currently playing the Mets right now. I'll finish it up. I know actually you're playing Washington tonight, but you came off that Mets series. We had a great opportunity to put yourself in the driver's seat. What happened, brother? You're on mute. You're still on mute. Or some kind of, or your volume.
I got you. My mic was down. So like I said, the pitching just wasn't there. Scherzer was dominant that first game. Second game we got him, and then the third game we just gave up a lot of hits. It wasn't pretty, but like I said, 1 out of 3, not ideal. But like I said, we didn't gain any, we didn't lose any. We just stayed where we were at. So we're still working our way up there. The Mets are a good team. They played like it, and I'm still confident we're gonna get that lead. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes it works out for you, sometimes it don't.
But the good thing is, honestly, is that if you know anything about the Braves, especially after watching them last year, you can never count them out. And the fact they're only 2.5 behind the Mets, I mean, and we're getting ready to go to the All-Star break. There's a whole season of baseball left, so plenty of time for those guys to do replicate what they did last year.
There's a whole other half left.
Champions in the NL again.
Also, Damian, I want to hear you talking with your below 500 White Sox, sir.
Man, that's true. Oh my goodness, man!
You have zero room to talk right now. If the Minnesota Twins are in front of you, if the Cleveland Guardians are in front of you, you cannot say a word.
Yeah.
So right now, the current score for the Reds and Yankees, as you know, they're in the bottom. I believe those are the 4th at 0-0. So those guys are definitely squaring off. And again, I like to see that competitive fire coming out of the Reds towards the Yankees, giving them those easy wins. I love to see that competitiveness coming out of them. It really does make for good baseball. And right now, the Astros are up 1-0. Top of the first, bases loaded. We got 1 out, so we'll see if we can get these juiced base runners in and get a little bit more of a lead going into the bottom of the first. But hey, man, it's been a hell of a good night, man, and. Man, what a time to be alive for baseball. Holy crap, what a time to be alive. Until, I guess, we got Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be back with more sports. And, again, we had Pride on today. We had Gonzo on today. And then we had always Big Shot Rob and my sidekick, Logan, Babyface. And man, hey, I love you guys. And we will see you on Saturday. Y'all be good.
Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking